Hi everyone, and welcome to the Swedish movie Critic. Today I'm going to talk about James Cameron's Avatar, the first one. We have the second one right around the corner now in a couple of weeks, so I thought it would be interesting to rewatch the original. I hadn't seen it in many years. I saw it twice, I think, in the cinema, and it blew me away with the technical marvel that it is. And I wanted to go back and check it out now before the new release, because a lot of things have changed in the cinema industry. We have more CGI heavy movies today, so I thought it could be cool to go back and watch the original. And James Cameron is a master. I mean, he's made some of the best movies ever made, and some of my absolute favorite ones. We have Terminator 2, we have Aliens, and of course Titanic. Titanic is still good. I think it has aged somewhat, but it's still a very well-made movie, of course. And Avatar was a big hit in 2009 when it came out, and it really transported people to this fictional world of Pandora. And you get to follow Sam Worthington as Jake Sully, this marine whose brother gets killed, and he gets the job of basically replacing him in a science experiment to become one of these avatars on Pandora. And it's a very lush, rich jungle world, a very interesting sci-fi setting, I think. And we have the Na'vi, the blue elf-like aliens who live on the planet, humanoid aliens. So basically, Sam gets to transport himself into one of these aliens to learn about their culture. And it's a very interesting sci-fi, I think, with maybe sci-fi tropes. You have this colonization that we have left Earth and started to explore different worlds. But with that comes also colonialism, you have exploitation of the environment, and you also have the military and the military's role in that type of society. That I think it's interesting. It gives the story some more layers to work with, but you also have like this classic tale of, as many people have said, it's basically like Dances with Wolves or Pocahontas in space. You have this story with Sam as he gets his avatar. He meets one of the Na'vi, Neteri, played by Zoe Saldana. And in my opinion, I think she basically steals the show. She is really good as this native Neteri who teaches Sam about Pandora and the Na'vi's culture and environment. So lots of nature versus machine versus humanity themes going on at the same time. It wouldn't be a James Cameron movie without romance, and you also have this romantic story between Jake and Neteri. They fall in love. I think it's very well made. I mean, it's computer-generated characters, but because of the performances are so good and the effects are at that high level, you get invested in the romance as well. I think it's well made, and I think it works. I was a little bit skeptical now going into this so many years ago. I think, does it still hold up? But it does. You get swept along for the ride because it's so impressive still, the technology, and the world is very well realized, completely CGI'd, but looks very good still today, I think, compared to today's standard. We have very cool cinematography by Mauro Fiore. The cool thing is that you have this free camera, of course, because everything is digital. Most of the movie, like 90%, feels digital. Everything on Pandora is made in the computer, so you have completely control of the camera, and that gives it a very real feel. You have very cool shots of the camera flowing freely through different environments. You can tilt the camera over edges, you can do whatever you want. You get this very almost documentary feeling. The camera is always moving, there's always something moving in the picture, a technique that I know Akira Kurosawa used very well in his movies. So you get very engaged with the story and in the world because it feels so real, the way it's made and also the way it's shot. You also have great music by James Horner, sadly missed. He passed away a couple of years ago. A great composer. Wrote the music for Titanic, Braveheart, Willow, one of my favorites also. And you get this very heroic, adventurous soundtrack that I think works well. Usually he has the same theme for the bad guys. That's a little bit fun nod to his work, I think. But yeah, it still works. I think the story, the Na'vi fighting against the military, the corporation who wants to take over their land and their world to exploit for this unobtainium, it's called, fun name. But it's it's a very classic tale of sci-fi and adventure, and I think it says a lot about the culture also today. How many wars are fought in the name of freedom and democracy, but basically it always boils down to resources, natural resources, and money. Otherwise, I think the story is okay. I mean, it's by far the weakest point of the movie. I think the actors are very good in it. We also have Sigourney Weaver in a role as a scientist here. It's so nice to see her again. We have Stephen Lang as the bad guy. He plays this villainous military guy, but all the characters, I think, feels a little bit shallow. I think you could give them a little bit more depth so we would get to know them a little bit better. I mean, I think Zoe Saldana is amazing as Neytiri, but at the same time, you don't really know that much about her as a character. Same with Sam's Jake. It would be nice to get a little bit more depth to them. But I think at the same time, you get swept away by the world and the story that you really don't think about that much because the other things in the movie are so impressive still. I think it was smart of Cameron to cast Sam Worthington as Jake because he was pretty much unknown at the time. And you sort of get the audience perspective through him, and I think it's good when you don't have the most famous actor. Jake Gyllenhaal and Matt Damon were auditioning for it, but Sam got it, and I think that was the best decision because you need a fresh face. And yeah, as I said, the CGI today, in some areas maybe it is dated, but a lot of it still holds up. I think the facial expressions, the details still works very well. The world looks very lush and colorful. We have to see how the second movie holds up in 2 weeks. I will give you my review of that as well. Judging by the trailer, you should never judge a movie by its trailer, but it looks sort of similar to the first one. I hope it's not too similar. I mean, James Cameron is very good at what he does, a masterful director, so it will be interesting to see what he does. It would be nice to have a little bit more story with more depth to the characters and not just a retread of the first movie, but I think he's smarter than that. But it will be very, very cool to see it. Very interesting. Okay, so have you seen Avatar? I bet you have. Please comment below what you think of it today. Does it still hold up? Are you looking forward to the second movie? Let me know in the comments below. If this is your first time to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and like. And I'll talk to you again soon. Thank you for listening. Bye.